Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Michael, and as always, we're going to be getting into some more stories. If you enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new, I'd appreciate if you subscribed. Without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Disastrous Paint in the Vent subreddit. The post is titled, "Falsely Accused of Academic Dishonesty, Close to Graduation." I've been working very hard on my bachelor's degree, and I'm currently 3 courses away from graduating. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this semester, specifically because I had a baby 2 days before the semester started. The birth was traumatic, and I was in the hospital for 4 days. I did homework on a laptop in the hospital while being 24 to 48 hours postpartum, recovering from a C-section. I studied and did homework while feeding my baby and letting him nap on me. I worked on it when he woke up at night since I was awake anyway. I was so determined to do well, and I did. I feel as if I owe it to my son as well as to myself. Fast forward, I spent 2 weeks writing my final paper for one of my courses. I put a lot of effort into researching, editing, and revising my paper. I took several pages of notes by hand. I was so proud of the finished paper, and I was excited to turn it in. The next day, I went to see if it had been graded yet. I received a 0. I panicked and emailed my professor immediately. He told me that he ran the paper through an AI detector, and it came back as 92% AI generated. What? How is that possible? I am beyond devastated. My university has a policy where academic dishonesty results in expulsion. I begged my professor for a chance to prove that I wrote the paper 100% on my own, and he agreed to meet via Zoom tonight. I'm sick to my stomach with worry because it sounds like he's already decided I'm a cheater and it's set in stone. I don't even know how I'm supposed to prove that I didn't use AI, aside from the fact that I can demonstrate I understand the material, but how am I supposed to defend myself against a robot calling me a liar? Update. I had my meeting with my professor and I have no answers as to what's going to happen. He wasn't interested in my version history as he said it wouldn't prove anything. He told me he put some of my other assignments through the checker and they came back as AI as well. I don't understand how that is possible. This is a nightmare. Update 2, I emailed the dean and explained exactly what happened. I made clear that I do not appreciate having my integrity called into question and my degree being put on the line based on nothing more than data a janky software spit out. I scanned all of my handwritten notes and attached them to the email as well as a screenshot of my version history. My professor and my advisor are included on the email. I provided times I'm available to connect via Zoom or Teams to clarify and discuss anything and everything they want to know. I will be following up a minimum of twice a day until I'm given the opportunity to speak. Final update. With the help of the Dean IT and my advisor, it was proven my paper was authentic and AI was not used. My professor apologized and my grade has been restored. I'm so relieved. This story was pretty frustrating, and as someone who was in school prior to the AI boom, I feel pretty happy I avoided this nonsense. Tack on her newborn child and all of the stressors that event brought along, and the entire situation just feels terrible. In regard to AI detection tools, I feel like they can be useful, but using them as a hard evidence is far from adequate. Regardless, I'd be pissed if I were in OP's shoes and was dragged through such an event. User Kevin J. Bond said, "That would definitely not be the end of it for me. An academic gold standard is that when you make a claim or accusation, the burden of proof is on you. You need to demonstrate that what you are presenting is not hot garbage." This professor failed at a fundamental level to understand the tool he was using and put all of his eggs in the basket of it being correct. When challenged with evidence that refuted his claims, he didn't do anything with it. This professor is the one who is literally academically dishonest. He has no business being in that role if he can't handle the most basic parts of it. Dude would be getting put on blast until I got bored and moved on. This next story was made in the relationship advice subreddit by a user named Wants in Need. The post is titled, "My GF has stopped sexual intimacy. She's bringing up the idea of soon cutting off every form of intimacy. Am I overthinking by thinking I can't do anything about it?" I want to start off by saying that I know I'm on an old NSFW account and that we're a very young couple, so it might not be taken as seriously as other relationships. We've recently hit 8 months together and she's the woman of my dreams, but I've been really afraid lately. I don't really have anyone to talk to about it, as friends and trusted people have been getting busy with their own lives, so this might be a long read, but there's a TLDR at the end, and I apologize for the formatting. I met this girl a while back in high school, and we've been friends since then, but life happens and we kind of grew apart. Fate brought us back together, and now we're in a relationship. I've never been so happy with another person before, and she's changed my life for the better, but recently I've been feeling a bit down. A lot of this is backstory from my personal experience, but this is what matters. My first girlfriend was a mixed experience, and it ended very badly. I'm cutting out a lot of details since I'd rather not talk about her, but long story short, she cheated on me after, or maybe before, I don't really want to find out, forcing me to be intimate. I never told anyone about this until I met my current girlfriend, who helped me understand that I was assaulted. My girlfriend has helped me figure things out and be more open about intimacy, and she has helped me so much. I've been very respectful of her boundaries, and I always ask for consent before anything physical happens. She has told me before that I wouldn't have to ask every time, since I ask before intimacy, but I personally can't and won't do that, as I will always ask for her consent. We've been very sexually active, and it made me more confident in myself, but that changed around 2 months ago. One day, she just stopped being in the mood. I didn't hold anything against her since it's her body and she has every right to say no. I stopped asking for intimacy when I noticed she wasn't in the mood anymore, and I don't mean to say anything negative about her at all, but I was at my peak, so to speak, in terms of being sexually active, and losing that very suddenly made me lose a lot of confidence. I do love her, and after talking about it, she said she's going to save it for marriage from that point on. I accepted it, and I feel like I've been doing a bit better, but I still feel sexually frustrated. That doesn't mean I'm not happy with her, as I just adore every single little thing about her, and I love spending time with her. It was hard at first to break the habit since intimacy was a big part of our relationship, but that doesn't mean it was the only thing holding us together. I've been trying to find ways to suppress that feeling through working out or going back to old hobbies, but working out usually intensifies my desire for intimacy, which sucks since I'm trying to gain more confidence and the feeling still lingers. I don't want her for her body, but I just miss that intimacy so much. About a week or two ago, she said that she might soon stop every form of intimacy like kissing, cuddling, holding hands, etc. I didn't show it to her, but it broke me badly. I remember going home and admittedly crying myself to sleep, and my mood was off for a few days. My mood is now somewhat better, but I still feel a bit emotional as I'm typing this. I love this woman for who she is and how she's been with me through everything, but I don't see myself lasting without any form of intimacy until marriage. We're very young, and the thought of waiting years before having any form of physical contact has been eating me alive for the past week or so. She does love me very much, but I've been so confused. Why be so intimate if it's supposed to be only for marriage? Again, I adore this woman with everything, but I've been so hesitant to admit that I don't see it working if there's no form of intimacy for the next few years. I don't feel trapped in our relationship, but I would feel so bad if I left. She's helped me through the worst of times and has pushed me to become a better person by pursuing my dreams and goals. I've always been there for her when no one else was, supporting her through the hardest times of her life, both past and present. I feel like I'm overthinking this too much. I love her so much, but why am I having doubts about our future? If I were to leave, would she think I only wanted her for her body? Can I really suppress my desire for intimacy for so long? Will our relationship last? There are so many questions overwhelming me, both emotionally and physically. I've been very clingy with her recently, always cuddling, kissing, holding her, and taking naps with her, but I'm afraid that I'm only rushing the process of losing all that. She's told me many times that it's not because of me, but that it's something she wants to reserve for marriage. I'm at such a low point right now. I love her so much and don't want to let go, but at the same time, everything that brought us closer together feels like it's fading. Is it normal to overthink this much? How much longer can I go without any form of intimacy between us? I love her very much, but I'm afraid she'll think I only wanted her for her body if I do end things. Any advice? Update. It's been a rough week. Thank you to everyone who helped me figure things out and finally stand up for myself. She's handling it way better than I am, which I'm thankful for. Anyway, back to the main point. We met up at a nearby Starbucks, got our coffee, and sat in the car. I told her I wanted to talk about something that had been on my mind for a while, and I think she knew what I was going to say. I held her hand the whole time and told her I wasn't mad or upset with her, but that there were some things lingering on my mind. First, regarding the lack of intimacy, there was no cheating involved at all. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, having that thought brought up destroyed me mentally, and I hate that it was mentioned in the first place. Again, someone on my last post was right. It was a religious decision, although not directly by her. Her parents found out that we were being intimate quite often, and according to her, they threatened to tell the church and have them intervene. Before I start, I'm not making this into a religious hate post. I'm going to be honest, I've never been a big fan of church. Sure, I don't mind religion, and I don't doubt that there are some good churches, but I feel like that's where some of that Christian hate comes from. Her parents are very controlling of her when it comes to her personal life, even financially. Now, regarding the no intimacy at all part, things got a bit confusing. She said she only brought it up because of a bad experience she had with an ex and thought it was normal in a relationship. Think of it like fights where both sides want some time apart. She thought she needed to say that part. I just told her that she could have said she needed some space instead of saying no more intimacy. I also asked her if I had messed up at any point in our relationship. She said I hadn't, but that there had been a few disagreements between us that never impacted our relationship. I asked if I was too much for her, and she said only sometimes. After that, she started talking a lot about how her life is constantly busy, how her parents never give her freedom, how school is too much, and how her personal life gets overwhelming at times. At that point, I knew she wasn't ready for a relationship. I let her finish talking, and then I told her that things weren't working out. She cried for a while and told me not to leave her, saying she doesn't have anyone else. I told her we could still talk, but our relationship couldn't last much longer if things stayed this way. I explained that even if we stayed together, it would likely end much worse and we might go no contact. She cried a bit more and I held her close while trying to comfort her. I'm really hoping she's not holding out hope for the future. I told her that I had no regrets about our relationship, that I enjoyed the trips we took around the state, and that I would do it all over again. I think I messed up by telling her that, but what's done is done. Before she left, I let her calm down a bit and told her everything would be fine. I gave her a hug, kissed her, and we went our separate ways. Honestly, I only text her to see how she's doing, and she only texts me with questions she didn't have a chance to ask, but she's been handling it way better than I have. I've been feeling alone for the past week, and as one commenter mentioned on my last post, I am attached to her. I've been doing a few things to keep my mind busy, and it helps every now and then, but otherwise, I feel alone. My friends are out of state, and for some reason, my only friend who stayed here has been avoidant. Anyway, it's going to be rough in the near future, but everything should be okay. In my opinion, this is a rare situation with these stories where the ending is actually not that bad. Sure, it's not exactly a happy ending per se, but the two moving away from each other is likely the healthiest decision. The only gripe I have here is with the parents. OP's girlfriend is a full-grown adult at the age of 21, and I don't think her parents applying such a rule on her relationship is right. During this split, hopefully OP is able to heal from his own trauma, and ideally his girlfriend can find a way to deal with her own familial drama. User Union said their relationship was over from the moment she decided not to tell him what happened with her parents. I feel sorry for them both, and I'm so glad he left without dragging it out too much. User Licked Todd said, I think they both need a bit of therapy, she for the religious and parental drama, and him a bit for self-esteem. But he sounds healthy and like a good man. I hope he can find the right person for him.